Okay, guys. So apparently I'm in this video here. 5 disturbing TikTok controversies. I don't think I am one of the controversies, which is a little surprising because I used to be a bit of a controversial figure. Not proud of that, by the way. Not proud of that. It's just kind of what happened. But I think that I'm very fortunate in that I got banned and everything is gone. So I'm just putting this in there for next. Oh. So I got a little bit fortunate in that capacity, where like, yeah, I'm fortunate in that capacity, frankly. Oh, I'm supposed to be somewhere else. So yeah, let's get this party started. I'm while I mess with my stuff. Beautiful.
TikTok.
The
Where
audio.
else are you going to waste several hours mindlessly scrolling?
Is it just me, or is it only going into one thing?
To avoid getting your work done? For most of us, TikTok is a fun app that gives us a bit of lighthearted entertainment. However, because we can never have nice things, there is a darker side to this app.
Oh no.
Today we'll be looking at 5 disturbing TikTok controversies that might make you think before you scroll.
Black TikTok. So scary. I'm just kidding. That's a darker side. Oh, inappropriate.
Roll.
Inappropriate.
At the beginning of 2020,
I've got a bone. Oh, I know too much of this stuff. This guy, those are like, apparently he buys like actual human skulls and stuff. It's crazy.
TikTok user John Ferry began posting some unusual content under the handle @JohnsBones. Initially, he caught people's eyes by sharing facts about the human skeleton or showing how certain bones and joints interact. Ferry would appear in video after video, holding various skulls, or showing off a literal wall of human spines inside his New York City apartment. He also started to sell his collection of human remains through his company, aptly named John's Bones.
Damn.
But it wasn't.
If I had a video called Papa's Bones, it would be a little bit different. It would it would be a lot smaller, if you know what I'm saying.
Long before people started to wonder just where all these bones were coming from.
All these bones coming
When comments began to accuse Ferry of grave robbing, he took to the internet to set the record straight. But
I don't think it was grave robbing. I think that it was just that he would buy them, but it's still kind of a messed up practice. There's a museum in New York that I'm probably going to go to. I think it's the New York Sex Museum, where they will, I think they get remains from like Chinese prisoners, and they sell that stuff. And it's just it's unfortunate. Like, it's like, I mean, frankly, I think it's disrespectful to those individuals. So I think he got it from like somewhat, like, he probably got it through legal means, but it's unfortunate how like you could buy human remains. You know, it's so disrespectful to like the persons who no longer remains. Sorry, I was just a little immature. So
ended up setting off a firestorm. Ferry was adamant that he did not acquire the bones through any illegal means, and that he had purchased them from private collectors or companies that mostly originated out of China, India, or Russia, claiming that they were all ethically sourced. However, Ferry had no official documentation to show for his bones, and those who purchased through the John's Bones website
I have to subscribe to my OnlyFans for that.
Get no documentation or history of the remains in their possession. People began to question how Ferry knew his bones were from an ethical source, since he appeared to have no records.
I don't think you can really get an ethical
It's also
source.
worth mentioning that something that is technically legal isn't necessarily ethically or morally okay.
Sure.
Furthermore,
it's also important to understand that, like, because something is considered legal, it is. I'm not saying it's ethical, right? Like, R1, I think, is ethical, even though it's illegal, like, federally, technically. But I would say that overall, like, the fact that something is legal, it signals to people that it's okay to engage in that particular thing. And that is also something, the bigger problem is the ability to get these bones legally, not the fact that he has them, right?
As people dug into Ferry's past, it became clear that he had no qualifications whatsoever, having no formal education in osteology, anthropology, or any related field that would make him a reliable expert.
Oh, okay.
His treatment of the bones on his TikTok account turned many stomachs, leading to outcries questioning why he...
What did he
King
do?
Yuzmako super chatted $5.
Was he fucking
Papa's
bones?
Bones equals short channel. Aldo, have you checked out Meat Canyon video on Sneeko and Charlie? Top tier funny 4-minute video.
I did. I don't know if I'm going to release it. Maybe I'll make it a members only video for people who are members. That's actually might be what I do, because I don't think I'm going to release it.
Thought it was okay to dress up skeletons, allow his pets to play in their bones, or
Damn.
shove money between their teeth. One TikTok
Yikes.
user named Wajan Bari3 commented, "Those were people, not rocks to collect. Have respect." Others also noted that without proper documentation, these individuals were not being treated in the manner that their culture or religion might mandate.
Well, that's
for example,
that's more of the problem with the people who are selling them. Like, that's the criticism should be on them than anything else.
Muslims are supposed to be buried facing Mecca, and Ferry has no way of knowing which of his many skeletons might have been Muslim during their lives. Though Ferry likes to assert that he is humane and principled, claiming that he only sells his bones to medical students or institutions and that he gives the remains a dignified purpose, there is no proof to back this up. In fact, YouTube user Ready to Glare tried to purchase bones from his company's website, hoping that she would run into some kind of wall since she is not a doctor or in the medical or educational field. Unfortunately, it was shockingly
obviously. Look at that hair. Am I right, guys?
Easy to do, and she encountered no kind of blockade that would bar her, as a private citizen and collector, from buying human remains from John's Bones. There is no regulation or documentation put in place to ensure that a purchaser from John's Bones has an educational intent when purchasing from his business.
Damn.
It is far more likely that Ferry is simply capitalizing off of a corrupt trade that forces destitute families to surrender their loved ones' bodies to stave off the financial burden of a proper funeral. He could also...
Yeah, again, it's really messed up that is something that can be allowed to happen. I wouldn't put all that onto him. Why didn't I do that? I wouldn't put all that onto him, but it still is a problem. You know, did he just disappear after that? After getting called out for that? Because I haven't seen this guy in like a long time. Oh, I got nade.
So have bodies in his possession that came from less than ethical circumstances, like murder or grave robbing, and he would have no idea. So although what Ferry is doing isn't technically illegal in the United States, where he resides, it is certainly morally dubious and begs the question, would his business be as profitable if it weren't for his TikTok presence and over 500,000 followers?
Probably not. Which on like surface doesn't matter, but I understand the implication is that, like, you know, people on just random assholes on TikTok are buying these things. It's not like they're going to medical students, and I understand what they're saying, which should be make it more responsible. Yeah, it is. It's crazy that they used to be breathing people with conscious minds, and now their bodies being played with. Yeah, true, man. I agree with that. It's very bizarre. It's still fascinating, like the sex museum and stuff. Interesting stuff, you know, but.
In 2019, a 25-year-old named John Robert Bell joined TikTok.
Uh-oh, here I am.
At Joe Robe and at Joe Robe.
And John Robert Bell, before it came out that he was trying to talk to kids, successfully, really, he was such a virtue-signaling little dickhead, crying about everything. Like, oh, the most obnoxious progressive. The fact that he even had the ability to have a platform is wild. Anyway, quick rundown on what this guy did. Turned out he used to get into calls with a bunch of people from like ages like 13 and up. And like 13 to like, you know, well, I think some of them were 19, and he would like they talk about inappropriate shit, some of which was the fact like they would do like weird like sex surveys of like what kind of kinks that they would like. There were a couple of 17-year-old boys that like he was like actively like messaging and being like, hey, you know, like when you turn 18 we should hang out. Really gross shit. And then one person came forward that was I believe 13 years old with pictures of his wiener. So, you know, yeah, not a great guy. So, you know, somebody called his church. I don't know who, because I don't know what person would ever call his church. And then other people did, and because he would work with kids. Yeah, you know, I don't know who would do that. What a terrible thing to do, am I right? Yeah, not a good guy, not a great guy. So. Apparently also there's this one girl, she's like, you know, I was like 16 or 15 or something, and he would like trauma dump on her about me specifically, like me, Papa Gut, because he'd be so upset by me that like he would talk to people. He would like cry to them about things I would say about him on TikTok. I wasn't that mean. It was bizarre. Oh, like one time I was doing there was a charity event. Ryan Beard was hosting it, and Joe Robe was there, and I was there too. And this is before we knew anything, so they're not like they're not. I love Ryan Beard. And I showed up and I donated money. When I showed up to the event, I said hi, blah, blah, blah. Or I don't know if I went yet. But anyway, when Joe Robe was there, it was an online event, by the way, like on Twitch. So I donated like a $500 while he was there so that he would have to acknowledge my existence. I trolled him a little bit. And so the money went to Rain, like a sexual assault case. But it was kind of funny. I think that's when Ryan really messed himself up, or you know, Ryan ended up like going, doing a 24-hour stream for that, and ended up kind of fucking up with his health. So messed up. The Papa effect.
IRL. He gained traction by posting politically correct commentary videos and stating that
this guy an AI voice
to make the internet a safe place for young people.
This type of public humiliation and outright rejection of identity is all too common in the transgender community. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
By 2021, he had almost 6 million followers between his 2 TikTok accounts.
True.
However, controversy exploded in the summer of 2021 when 17-year-old Dylan, known as @DillG16 on TikTok, posted a video to the app claiming that Bell was the biggest hypocrite he'd ever met. He then went on to detail how Bell used TikTok to connect with him initially, leveraging his popularity on social media as a way to groom Dylan, a minor 10 years his junior. Bell joined one of Dylan's live streams and asked for his Snapchat, which he readily gave him.
Yeah, and he kept telling him to make an OnlyFans when he turned 18. This shit was fucking weird. Oh, yeah, there was something else, too. There was this guy named Calvin Brandy. I'm going to see if I can link the video from my TikTok, like archived TikTok. And this guy, it came out that he like raped, like Joe Robe, this Calvin guy, and this other girl were all friends, and Calvin like raped this girl, and Joe Robe didn't like say anything about it. I think their name was Calvin Brandy. I'm gonna see if I can find it. It was really messed up. I'm gonna see if I can, oh, it's right here. Yeah, another predator, the Calvin Brandy. I'm going to put that in the description too, so you have something that you can look up. Dude was like a total hypocrite. Absolutely.
And the pair struck up a conversation on the app for several weeks.
I could probably put my Joe Robe thing on there too, like my playlist.
Dylan then invited Bell to a daily Zoom call that he held with his other TikTok friends, all aged between 15 and 19, and Bell accepted. After about a week of attending this Zoom call, Bell asked Dylan to get an Airbnb with him once he turned 18, and even promised to supply alcohol if he agreed to go. Initially, Dylan was excited by the proposition, but grew increasingly uncomfortable when it became clear that no one else was invited. Bell continued to send him listings for one-bedroom Airbnbs until Dylan began flat-out ignoring his advances. He also encouraged Dylan to set up an OnlyFans account when he turned 18, offering to set it up for him and become a subscriber once it was live. Bell,
there's so much. Oh, here we go. There we go. I can link the archive. There we go.
Strove to isolate Dylan from his friends, claiming that he was the only person Dylan could trust.
Sure, I forgot about that part. Like, yeah, it was very methodical. He actually was trying to separate all the friends and he was trying to do. It seemed like he was trying to do it to a lot of people. Is that he was trying to create like a dependency on multiple different people, onto him, and saying like you can't really trust anybody else, etc., etc. Even separating them from like each other's friend group. Like it was pretty fucked.
Leading Dylan to not speak to his friend group for about 4 months. Dylan also alleges that he was not the only young man that Bell has attempted to groom. In fact, within Dylan's weekly Zoom calls with his teen TikTok friends, Bell apparently had all the boys take a BDSM quiz and share their results with him. YouTube user Papa Gut has also claimed that multiple boys have reached out to him detailing Bell's predatory behavior, and he has a Google document from these young men that lists Bell's multiple offenses.
It wasn't just men. It was mostly like the boys that he would predatorize, or I don't know if it's loaded language, but where it was there were still some girls that he would ask and stuff like that. I wonder if this is the archive. Yeah, this should be good. I'll put that in there. Sorry.
Is towards them.
That's grooming. They didn't even realize how honestly bad this whole situation was while we were talking.
Shortly after the accusations against him went viral, Bell's TikTok accounts went private and then disappeared. It's unknown whether or not Bell was banned.
He came forward and said that the reason he's not going to defend himself, because it's like through a mutual friend, is because it doesn't matter. He doesn't think anybody would listen anyway. But he's innocent, guys, by the way. That's what he said. So that's in one of those videos that I did. Crazy stuff, huh? Crazy stuff.
Or if he took them down voluntarily. Furthermore, at this time, all of these allegations are unverified, but the behavior described by both Dylan and others is certainly troubling.
Hey, listen, here's what I know. I saw the dude's fucking wiener, okay? So,
regardless, if the allegations turn out to be true or false, it's a good reminder that the people we think we know online are still only strangers.
Stranger things.
In June of 2020, a group of teens decided to spend their day adventuring around their home city of Seattle.
Woo.
Using the app Randonautica, which generates random geographical coordinates within a certain radius set by the user. The kids found themselves at Alki Beach in the western portion of the city. Whipping out their phones, they began filming the experience for TikTok, and their discovery was later posted on the app under the username @UgHenry. The gang spotted a black suitcase on the rocks below them, and joking that it might contain money, a couple of the teens clambered down to check it out. Upon opening the bag, a horrible stench wafted out, with the teen boy behind the camera remarking,
"It stinks, y'all."
One of the girls lifted the lid of the suitcase with a stick and was only able to see black trash bags.
Damn.
At this point, the group was disturbed by the smell and the mysterious nature of the luggage, so they opted to call the police instead of proceeding any further. The kids' worst suspicions were later confirmed when the suitcase and a smaller duffel bag discovered nearby were found to contain 2 sets of human remains. Later identified as 27-year-old Austin Winter and 35-year-old Jessica Lewis, the couple had been beaten, shot, and dismembered roughly 2 weeks before they were discovered by the teens.
What the fuck?
2 months after the gruesome discovery, an arrest was made. Austin and Jessica's landlord, 62-year-old Michael Lee Dudley, was charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Apparently, the landlord was angry with the couple over late rent payments and bringing criminal activity onto his property.
So fucking kick him out. Call the cops. What the fuck? Jesus Christ, man. What the fuck? Oh my God. I don't know. The fact that it seems like it was 2 girls. Am I wrong about that? Maybe there's something else going on there. But Jesus, was it 2 girls? All right, it looked like it.
And beat 27-year-old Austin Winter and 35-year-old Jessica Lewis.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Austin's a guy. Either way, Jesus.
Landlord was angry with the couple over late rent payments and bringing criminal activity onto his property. The nature of this activity remains unclear, as does the amount of rent that Austin and Jessica may or may not have owed Dudley. He remains in jail with his bail set at $5 million. The way that Dudley disposed of Austin and Jessica's remains is horrifying, and though their killer can now be brought to justice, it remains equally distressing that they were discovered by a group of young people just out having fun.
That's horrible, dude. These controversies are a little more intense than I thought.
The previous story isn't the only example of unsuspecting teens stumbling upon human remains. This case, however, is a little more macabre. In July of 2021...
How? How could it get worse than that? What do you mean it's a little more macabre? Oh my God.
Then 17-year-old Bethany Martin and her unnamed 16-year-old friend were out walking in southwest Bexar County, Texas, near the city of San Antonio. The pair came across the body of a 25-year-old man lying in a drainage ditch.
Jesus.
Martin then began to film the situation, uploading it to her Snapchat account. Her Snapchat footage showed
Martin... I thought these controversies were going to be, like, minor. Like the Joe Rogan one. Not this. This is crazy. Holy shit.
Approaching the man's corpse and removing his necklace.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God.
Martin separated the pendant from the chain and threw the chain into a nearby patch of grass. She then handed the ornament to her younger friend, who placed it on her own gold chain to wear. The videos eventually found their way to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office through an anonymous source, and both teens were apprehended by the authorities and charged with felony theft from a human corpse. Less detail is known about the 16-year-old accomplice since she is a minor, but Martin's bail was set at $2,000, which her family later paid to have her released. Javier Salazar, a sheriff in Bexar County, was haunted by the footage, remarking, "It was disturbing because they're laughing, treating it as a joke." Salazar later stated that if it hadn't been captured on video, he wouldn't have believed the story. Before her arrest, Martin uploaded 2 videos to TikTok.
Oh, I wonder how she got caught. I wonder how these people got caught. Could it have been the videos bragging about it and then not calling police? Like, what? Bro, like, not for nothing, but you have to be, like, extra dumb. If you're going to, like, listen, you shouldn't do this, but if you're going to commit a crime, like, fucking Jesus, at least don't put it on TikTok. I mean, I guess it's a good thing that they put it on TikTok, actually. All jokes aside, because it outs them. But, oh, my God, you are so dumb.
Referencing the event, although they didn't show footage of the body like her Snapchat video had. The deceased man was later identified as Marcus Adams, and his cause of death was eventually ruled as... The gold pendant removed from his neck by the girls was returned to the parents, and the family set up a GoFundMe to help offset the costs of the funeral. Devastated by his death and especially hurt by...
Bro, the worst part is from what I'm hearing, they didn't, like, call the cops and, like, let them know. Like, imagine somebody in your family passed away and, like, they're looking for him, that he's missing, and they're like, where is he? Where is he? You don't even give them that closure. It's fucked up, dude. Come on. Like, how is that your first priority? I mean, steal the necklace. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But, I mean, you could at least call the cops.
The disrespectful and troubling way the teens treated his son's body, Adams' father, Marcus Adams Sr., said in a statement to the press, "It's bad enough to steal from the living, but to steal from the dead? He's helpless. He's no longer here. He couldn't fight back." As of 2022, not many updates are available, but it seems that Martin has been indicted on the charges she was initially facing.
All right, well, hey, sucks to suck. Fucking idiot. Is that all of them? Is there
In
another
April
one?
2021, friends and family of
do something lighthearted.
Daniel Halseth of Las Vegas, Nevada, became concerned when he failed to respond to their calls and texts. His mother reached out to her granddaughter, Sierra, by text, asking her where her father might be. Sierra responded that all was well and that his phone was simply acting up. But the unnerving silence from Daniel continued. Eventually, he was discovered by Las Vegas police dead in the garage of his own home. He had been stabbed upwards of 70 times, shoved into a sleeping bag, and then set on fire. The authorities didn't have to look too far for a culprit. His 16-year-old daughter, Sierra, and her 18-year-old boyfriend, Aaron Guerrero, left behind a mountain of evidence that included a taped TikTok confession.
Oh my God, I remember this TikTok thing. I didn't know that this is what this was from. What the fuck? What the fuck would possess you to do something like that?
Who can be seen laying on the floor of what appears to be a tent, giggling and making light of the situation.
I don't know what to say.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Day 3 after murdering somebody.
Wow! Don't put that on camera.
It was worth it.
Okay. Incredible.
So yeah.
Aside from the TikTok video that was widely circulated, the teens were also caught on security cameras purchasing saws, bleach, and drop cloths before Daniel's murder.
Jesus.
And Sierra was caught on an ATM camera using her father's debit card after his demise. Apparently, Sierra and her boyfriend had planned to run away to Los Angeles together towards the end of 2020. But when both teens' parents uncovered their plans, they forbade them from seeing each other. Figuring
well, now that I heard that these two wanted to run away with each other and the parents stopped them, like that's so disproportionate. Why would you ever stop two dumb fucking kids from running away with each other? They clearly deserved it. I'm obviously kidding. That's fucking insane. This is preposterous.
Their way to be together, the pair concocted a plan to kill Sierra's father. The teens were charged with murder, conspiracy, arson, robbery, and fraudulent use of a credit card. Though Sierra is being charged as an adult, neither will face the death penalty. At this time, both have pleaded not guilty to the charges filed, and there are no further updates as of now. Sure, sometimes TikTok can make you do crazy things, but in this case, it seems like TikTok actually helped to catch a pair of cold-blooded killers.
Day 3 after murdering somebody.
Wow! Don't put that on camera.
Yeah, maybe. It probably did help. But if this fucking idiot used her dad's credit card afterwards, they're probably gonna get caught anyway. But they had pretty concrete proof. It seemed. Well, they admitted it. So that's pretty good proof. It's pretty good proof there that they did it.
It was worth it.
Why his dad though? Like her dad, not like the other parents. I'm just curious. Like why specifically the dad? Doesn't really make sense to me.